whole theme about this entire industry, everything that we're doing here is at the forefront of sustainability. These are people who are conscious about the footprint that we leave behind when it comes to our fashion and our fashion choices. So, your moderator tonight, the beautiful Alexis Ungria. She is the founder of Evoke Muse. Give it up for her. Give it up for her. There we go. What's up? On the panel tonight, we have Bianca Nemtoc. She is the she does regional donations coordinator for the Salvation Army. Give it up for her. Give it up for her. Then we have the legendary Manny Jackson, designer of Thread Haus. Give it up for Manny. Come on. Finally, we have Elle. She is the designer of Ellerali. All right. Well, all right, I'm just going to take a seat now and let Alexis take over. You go ahead, Mama. You go ahead.
Thank you. I hope everyone is now lightened up, have a lot of laughs. So we have a topic today, community. I'm sure everyone is feeling it, whether that's a direct impact of what's going on in Los Angeles or even just at home. So we want to tie it back tonight. We have some amazing panelists, and you're going to get insight on just exactly how we can rethink how we create, share, and reuse resources and ways to close that loop. So we're going to start off with a general question and then go down the line. So community is at the core of this conversation. What does community-powered production look like in your practice?
Who wants to go first? Bianca?
Hi, everyone. So I'm Bianca. I'm the Regional Donations Coordinator at Salvation Army. And a little bit of context to understand how Salvation Army fits into sustainability and upcycling. A lot of people don't actually know that Salvation Army has 88 thrift stores in California alone. So we're actually nationwide. But in California alone, we have 88 thrift stores, and we've always been aiming to be sustainably driven. But as we all know, everything going on with our ecosystem and our environment, it's only getting worse. And so our intention has always been, and even more so now, is to figure out a way how we, as a nonprofit who aims to save lives and be there in the community, how do we translate that into upcycling? So in our thrift stores alone, we have about 100 truckloads of donations processed through our DCs per day. And so you can imagine our turnover rate is pretty high. Clothing doesn't stay on our sales floor for very long. That's just due to the fact that there's so much coming in every day. And so we have to figure out different outlets to where the unwanted, or as we call them, end-of-life garments that don't sell in the thrift stores. What do we do with that? Recycling, of course, is an option. But one thing that we've been doing for the last couple of years has been to partner with either design colleges or independent designers, student designers, and provide clothing, unwanted clothing or unsellable clothing, to these individuals or to these colleges. So that is my long-winded answer to that question. But basically, yeah, we've been, for the last couple of years, just giving all this clothing away to provide a hands-on opportunity for these individuals to experience and explore upcycling and sustainability.
Yeah, awesome.
And Manny?
All right, repeat the question.
Yeah, no worries. So community is at the core of this conversation. What does community-powered production look like in your practice?
So just to give you a premises of what Thread Haus is and who we are, I like to tell people that we describe our brands as built on what we call our 5 pillars, which is sustainability, innovation, education, creativity, and community. And what community production looks like is us all kind of coming together to work for a larger initiative. And so a lot of the clothing that we we make or we create, we like to implement different types of social impact initiatives or sustainability initiatives, as well as educate community and bring community into helping us. And so if we're able to scale that through each other's activities or knowledge or even interests, then I think that's a big part of what production looks like for us, because we're able to work together collectively, because we believe we all can bring something to the table at the forefront of that. So that's the premise of what Thread Haus is based on in our ecosystem. And it's partnerships like with Bianca and the Salvation Army, partnerships like with Elle, partnerships like with Monochromatic, partnerships with a ton of everybody that's in here, you all. This is what it looks like, because over a course of time, we really do produce and we scale our creativity, and we're able to scale the products and the things that we make. And on a larger level, we're able to make a larger social impact in society and in the world.
Good luck following that.
Go for it.
All right. So my name's Elle, and I am the designer of Ellerali, which is a fashion brand with a mission to recreate the created by upcycling fabric to reduce textile waste. When Alexis asked this question, the first thing I thought about was transparency. I feel like being able to communicate where your clothes are coming from, how it's made, what you can do with the clothes you already have, how you can use it, how you can swap, how you can share, how you can buy ethically made clothes. Like, those things are what I feel like are such a huge impact into how we can change the fashion industry and how we can make it more sustainable. As we talk about resources with Bianca, with Salvation Army, with Thread Haus, I know there's so many dope upcyclers here today having so much product. The way we can just make different things, work together, collaborate, share stories with the clothes that we already have. That's what's going to bring this excitement into what can we do with the waste that we're producing now. It's an art form. Whenever anything happens with what's happening all over the world, art is something that we turn to for healing. And so how beautiful it is to recreate from what we already have, to showcase an impact with the environment, but also share your story. So that's how I feel like we can be, community powered, by just working together.
Yeah.
They look dope, too.
So as you can see, everyone is really not only love for their craft, but love for the impact that their company creates in these ecosystems. I want to humanize you guys a little more, because we all go through challenges, especially in high pressure environments in your positions. What is the biggest challenge you have faced so far in your journey, and how did you guys overcome it? And what lesson could you share with everyone tonight?
I can go first. Guys, entrepreneurship is really hard. You know, you think about, there's days where you're just on it, and there's days where you just don't ever want to do it. But you know that you got to do something in order to grow your business. And I think constantly having to pretty much trick your mind to just keep on going. It's a hard race, especially art. Sometimes you're artistic, sometimes you can't come up with anything. And you got to just stare at your clothes and be like, what can I make out of this? Also sewing. Who here sews their own clothes? Is there any? Yeah, that is amazing. Sewing takes forever. Guys, it takes so long. And so having that patience to just keep on doing it. So like I said, sometimes you're great, sometimes you're not. So pretty much I don't have the answer except for just keep on going, because your art needs to be shown, and you're doing great. So I just keep on telling myself, girl, just keep on going. Yeah.
So for me, I think one of the largest challenges sometimes that, I face as a creative as well is the idea of what I like to tell myself is believing in all my crazy ideas, right? Because, sometimes we struggle, with finances, we struggle with maybe resources. We even may struggle with physical things like our mental health, right? And I mean, personally, I've definitely had that challenge as well, and stability and stuff like that. And it's my testimonies, it's my test that becomes my testimonies, right? It's my real struggles, my struggles through mental health that became something really beautiful that I was able to create from. It was my struggle with, being, unsheltered and living a nomadic lifestyle that helped me create something beautiful, right? And it's also what's really connected me to more community, being able to, empathize and actually relate to so many individuals. And it was really dope when I did my ADHD mental health collection, because it was so relevant to so many people when they saw ADHD written on my sleeve. And it's like, oh my God, I got ADHD. And I wanted to make something cool, but I wanted to make something that had a message. And that just opened me up to continue to create from a place of authenticity, right? And so I think my challenge at times is to believe in my crazy ideas and continue to stay creating from an authentic place, no matter how it may look or may look to other people, but it's something that's authentic to me, and I'm sure it's going to relate to someone else.
So I'm not a designer, but I'd say a challenge for Salvation Army, for ourselves as Salvation Army, trying to do what we're trying to do, it would definitely be to inspire others and instill the belief that that shopping at secondhand or thrift store, however you want to call it, it goes a long way. And it goes a lot farther than what people might think, right? A lot of times what we found as a challenge is that it's hard to keep that momentum going. Our aim, like I said, with our partnerships, that we're trying to spread that message, and having that foundation of having 88 thrift stores in California, and that the fact that we've been doing it for more than 150 years, it does speak volumes. But living in this era of consumerism, that's only growing and growing deeper and deeper, it's difficult. It's difficult to inspire that and to spread that message that a garment doesn't have to be thrown away. There's always a use for it. And that's a big part of why I continue doing this with Manny, with Elle. We're talking, and we've had conversations of working together, but and with UCI, or I'm sorry, not UCI, Cal State Long Beach, ASU FITM, Otis, OCC. So there's a lot of them that we partnered with, and yeah, I'd say that's for us, that's definitely the biggest challenge, is just keeping that momentum going.
It's so inspiring to hear how you each individually were able to make your story your own, and different paths. We have Elle, she has a background in marine biology, and we have a founder of Thread Haus, and we have someone working with Salvation Army, which is impacting like local communities. Anyone could drive 10 to 15 minutes to Salvation Army. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the direction and trends of sustainability. I heard somewhere that there wasn't an exact correlation between price point and endurance in clothing. And I'm curious to know, what do you see happening in the next year or two when it comes to sustainability in fashion? Are people going to be shifting more towards that as we're becoming more aware of like how luxury fashion brands are being exposed for different factory processes? Based on your guys' expertise, how do you see that evolving alongside the community here today?
So, first of all, how many people in here actually own something that they bought from a thrift store, secondhand, got from a friend, a hand-me-down? Oh, okay. Like the whole room, almost. That's great. Great. Give yourselves a round of applause, right? The thing is, just like my man said, I'm from the South, so I grew up with hand-me-downs. I grew up shopping at a thrift store. I didn't like it then, but now it really set the tone for my life and my lifestyle, and just also, how I move about in this world, right? And what I recognize is what's happening here right now in this whole entire ecosystem of fashion and sustainability. We get a chance to be, especially here in California, we get the chance to be at the forefront of the world that's about to change in front of our eyes. There's so many things that's happening through technology, the political climate, as well as everyday lifestyle. And I think when we look at what's happening outside of California, what's happening in other countries, like what's happening in the EU when it comes to legislation and regulation on textile waste and sustainability and greenwashing, and we get a chance to now be a part of watching this happen in another world and another country, and now we get a chance to kind of adopt that blueprint. So where I think we're actually heading is I think it's like a $50 billion, a $50 billion industry that's happening in the next 5 years just around sustainability. And, we're a part of that, but there's a lot of regulations and things that's coming down. And I think that we have to be aware of what that looks like for us all, because even as a sustainable fashion designer or a designer that's making stuff from recycled and upcycled garments, there's going to be regulations and stuff like that to put on clothing, and we have to be able to understand where do we fit in that, and how we're going to continue to survive through that. So just to land this plane, I think that where we are in this particular climate of sustainability in the industry, we're at the forefront of something amazing. We're at the forefront of making changes. Look at all of these amazing sustainable designers. Look at the community that we have here, and look at the opportunity that we actually have to increase our economical growth in our communities as well.
Great job, Manny.
Oh, I love you, Elle.
I agree with Manny. I think it starts a lot with legislation. There needs to be rules in regards to how much waste we can produce, what things are made out of. I think it has a lot to do. I think right now we're kind of pushing a lot of pressure on the consumer to buy ethically, to buy sustainably. But really, I think it comes from the designers. Like, we need to be able to choose what fabric we use, how it's made, and then also be in charge of our waste. Like, what happens when someone buys something and they return it, or if it ends up in landfill, or the dyes that we use. It's those things that I think it needs to start from the designer perspective of the materials that we use. Because right now, there is a lot of pressure on consumers, but it really comes from, I think, the designer perspective, and that's going to come through regulations. These big businesses have to have regulations on how much they can produce, what they can produce, and what they have to do with the waste. So I'm excited because I really do feel like it's a conversation that a lot of people are having right now. It's important. We all know that. And yeah, there's a lot of great things that are coming from it.
Yeah, so I agree with everything you guys said. And actually, it's interesting because you're referring to SB707, right? Yeah.
Right.
Right. So SB707, it actually prioritizes the use of thrift stores as part of the solution for what the retailers will do, and where the clothing will go basically after the consumer is finished with it. So for us, that's obviously very good, but we're seeing it as an opportunity to, again, be a solution. That's everything we do. We are looking for finding a solution, right? So this is just another way for us to, be a part of that and keep that momentum going.
And I'll add something to what she said, because SB707 is a pilot program for the Textile Recovery Act that, we're actually, Thread Haus is a big part of that. And what's really amazing is we get to build more collaboration, right? We get to see these bigger brands and challenge these bigger brands to work with us local designers, right? We get to actually have a seat at the table and look at what legislation looks like. We get a chance to be a part of those bills, right? And this is coming from a creative, right? That can sit at the table and say, hey, listen, this doesn't work, but maybe this will work. And we're able to partner with those bigger corporations, those hotels, those restaurants, these different businesses that have not put sustainability at the forefront. And now they're able to look at us, the creators, to say, what can we do? I always feel like when there's a problem in the world, give it to an artist. We know how to solve it, right? So this is what's really beautiful about this Textile Recovery Act, and I just encourage everybody to definitely pay attention what's going on in the EU and what's happening with their textile waste bills as well, because it's going to give us a light to what we're up against, and we need to make sure that we plan properly so that us designers that don't have the affordability to pay for the fees and all of those things that's going to come down with it, we're able to protect ourselves as well. So
That's so beautifully said, Manny, Elle, Bianca. Love how you emphasize it's all about taking ownership over your craft, as well as the shift in power dynamic recently with creatives and big corporations, not only in fashion, but throughout all artistry, musicians and actors facing really big conflict between, what is the line between our artistry and profit. And so I wanted to delve a little more about partnerships and collaboration, because as we build out this ecosystem, we want to work with more people. We want to inspire more change through the types of partnerships we pursue. How do you identify the right partners or collaborations and also stay true to your brand? What do you look for in partners? What kind of projects are you looking to take on?
So for us, it's the answer is actually pretty simple, because our mission, we have various different missions, but the Salvation Army is split into 3 different ministries, as we call them. So there's the social services side, there's the emergency disaster relief side, and then there's the adult rehabilitation center side. The adult rehabilitation centers is the ministry that I represent, that I work for. And so, long story short, the ARC, Adult Rehabilitation Center, is where individuals from all walks of life, but primarily individuals who struggle with substance or alcohol addiction or abuse, they come to our program for 6 months up to 12 months, and we provide them everything that they need to get back up on their feet. We provide their clothing, their shelter, the food, of course. We equip them with life skills. There's work training, work therapy, as we call it. There's counseling, etc. But the transformation that we see in these individuals on a daily basis is profound, would be an understatement. So I actually myself went through the program, and I don't ever really share this, but what the program did for me is invaluable. And so that's the only reason why I'm sitting here today with you guys, really. And so, of course, everyone's journey is different. But the parallel or the symbolism here that I'm getting to is that the same way that our program is able to transform a life and change a life that oftentimes that individual may seem unwanted or feel unwanted, or the society's forgotten about them. The same way we do that, we can do that with clothing. And so that mission that we have, we always stay true to it, because we live with it every day and we see it every day. And so being able to do these partnerships and having the opportunity and the honor to meet so many amazing designers is a blessing. And so it reminds me every day that what we're doing is really important, and it can be translated in many different types of ways.
greetings to Bianca, pray dance.
When it comes to partnerships, I think they will agree with me as well, is making sure that whoever you work with believes in your vision as well, that you guys are on the same page. And I think that's like the biggest thing, is you don't ever want to sell yourself out to something that you don't believe in. And as long as you know who you are and what you believe in, finding those people are just going to attract to the same thing. And so I really appreciate this community that you guys have built, that Barclay has built, Monochromatic has built, because I know me and Manny have known each other for years, but I'm constantly meeting people with the same values, the same ethos, that want to do the same thing. And so we're all here really to just share resources and help each other out. And with that grows a bigger team to really make a bigger change into where the environmental climate's going to be, and where really fashion's going to be, sustainable fashion. So yeah, so I think the biggest thing is just making sure that we're all on the same page with what we believe in, and then working with them. Doesn't matter how big or how small you are.
Yeah. So for me, you want me to answer this question? I keep it very brief. Man, collaboration is alignment. Simple as that. You know, if we align in our values, our vision, you know, our views, my job when you bring it to me is to make it make sense, you know. But if we're aligned, we gonna make it make sense. So that's how I look at collaborations and everything. And there's a lot of Thread Haus community in here. I see, you know what I'm saying? And we just continue to grow and elevate together. And I think collectively, like I said, as you all know, if you ever got a chance to work with me and know me, it's all about alignment.
Yes. So thank you, everyone. We're going to close it out by, why don't you let us know where we could find you tonight, where we could follow you, and what you have going on your booths. I have Evoke Muse over there. We're hosting 3 roundtable sessions. Each session is a different topic. We're talking about sustainability in fashion, collaboration over clout, ethical collaboration, and it's a way to really meet people and have that facilitated dialogue one-on-one. So stop by and say hi to some experts in the field. We'll get you checked in. But yeah.
Where can we find you guys?
Well, you can, I guess, find me on LinkedIn for sure if you have my full name. It's Bianca Nemtoc, and I also have business cards if anyone's interested in continuing the discussion or in talking about potential partnerships. If I'm not around or if you can't find me, you can always ask Manny. He has all my contact info as well.
All right, you can find me right in the back. All right, me and Bianca, we're having a clothing swap today. So we would love for you all to come and participate in that. Also, I have a special collection that I made just for this particular event, where we upcycled towels and denim and everything is blue. And also we overdyed some stuff. But my brand is called Thread Haus Co. House is HAUSCO, and my name is Manny Jackson. So I'm on all platforms, and yeah, come say hello.
Okay, my name's Elle. I have a booth in the corner right over here where you can see me. You can follow me on Instagram, Ellerali. And also I'll be doing a couple shows these upcoming months. So if you are an upcycle designer and would like to showcase some of your work in my booth, I have a Recreate the Created booth where I have a mixture of upcycle designers showcasing their work. If you feel like you are ready to showcase your work and we want to be part of the Recreate the Created booth, you can hit me up at my booth or on Ellerali. And that's it.
Love fly a bioluminescent futuristic couture dress. Love fly a bioluminescent futuristic couture dress.